The last candle of hope. In the heart of a vast desert, surrounded by golden dunes and scorching heat, there was a small village named Zafar. The people of Zafar had lived in harmony with nature for generations, but an unrelenting drought had turned their once fertile land into a barren wasteland. The wells had dried up, the crops had withered, and the rivers that once flowed through the village were now nothing more than cracked earth. The people lived in despair, unsure of how much longer they could survive. Among them was a young boy named Amir. Unlike most of the villagers who had begun to accept their fate, Amir refused to give up hope. He had grown up listening to the stories told by his grandfather, a wise old man who had once been the village chief. His grandfather spoke of an underground spring hidden beneath the desert, a river of life buried deep under the sand. Most of the villagers dismissed these tales as mere myths, but Amir believed them with all his heart. Every morning, while others worried about their dwindling water supply, Amir would take his small shovel and venture out into the desert, digging wherever his instincts led him. His hands were rough and calloused, his body weak from hunger, but he never let exhaustion stop him. His mother pleaded with him to stop wasting his time. His friends laughed at his foolishness, and even the elders shook their heads in pity. But Amir remained steadfast. Weeks passed, then months. Amir's hole had grown deeper and wider, yet there was no sign of water. He began to doubt himself. Was his grandfather wrong? Was he chasing a dream that didn't exist? One night, he sat by his hole, staring up at the starlit sky, feeling the weight of defeat press down on him. His muscles ached, his heart felt heavy, and for the first time, he considered giving up. Just as he was about to walk away, a gentle wind swept through the village, carrying with it the scent of damp earth. Amir's heart pounded. He dropped to his knees, running his fingers through the sand. And then he felt it, a cool sensation against his fingertips. He dug frantically, his breath coming in short gasps. The sand grew wetter and wetter until at last, a small trickle of water emerged. It was real. He had found the underground spring. With renewed energy, Amir ran back to the village, shouting at the top of his lungs, "Water! I found water!" At first, the villagers dismissed his cries as the delusions of a desperate boy. But when they followed him to his digging site, their skepticism turned to awe. Before their eyes, water was seeping through the ground, a miracle in the middle of the desert. The entire village worked together to dig a proper well. Within days, the spring flowed freely, filling their pots and nourishing the land. Crops began to grow again, animals returned, and the people rejoiced. Amir had saved his village, not because of his strength, but because of his unwavering belief in hope. Years later, Amir grew into a wise and respected leader. He never forgot the lesson he had learned. No matter how hopeless things seem, he would say, never stop digging for your dreams. You never know how close you are to finding your miracle. Vocabulary list. 1. Drought, a long period of time with little or no rain. 2. Withered, dried up and shriveled. 3. Barren, lacking life or growth. 4. Despair, a state of hopelessness. 5. Instincts, natural feelings that guide behavior. 6. Calloused, hardened due to repeated work or friction. 7. Steadfast, firm and unwavering. 8. Skepticism, doubt or disbelief. 9. Delusions, false beliefs despite evidence to the contrary. 10. Nourishing, providing what is needed for growth and health. Moral of the story. No matter how impossible something seems, if you keep believing and working hard, miracles can happen.